What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. This won't be a super long podcast. It'll be on the short side today. We're finishing up the NFL report cards today. Teams 21 through 32 in that. The teams are ranked 21 through 32. There was a lot of trades going on in the NHL. The trade deadline, I believe, is tomorrow. There's some stuff coming out about basketball and even baseball, but I'm going to cover that either tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday. Well, one of those shows probably be a little longer. So let's get right into it. Number 21 is the New York Jets. So the Jets were ranked 21st in this category. They were 25th in treatment of families, 25th in food, 10th in nutrition, 21st in locker room, 27th in training room, 29th in training staff, 22nd in weight room, 25th in strength coaches, 17th in team travel, 24th in head coach, and 20th in ownership. So now we're getting to the teams that are not ranked high at all. So most of their rankings are going to be quite low. A few things, not a lot of things are that surprising. You know, the whole with the training staff, similar with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm sure when he told them I'm going to be back by week 13, they probably looked at him like, "Excuse me, you're 40 years old. You just had torn Achilles. What?" Then it was like oh, he's gonna come back by this game, and then they're like, then Rodgers said, "Yeah, it's possible," and then they're like, "Oh, he's not ready," and it's just like which one do you believe? And I'm surprised that with Robert Saleh, there's just no accountability with him. When he first took the Jets job, was this really fiery guy. There's none of that anymore. I can't imagine that goes over well in the locker room. It just doesn't. Locker room, there was definitely a disconnect with the defense. They have 2 years in a row now. They've played their butts off. They're one of the best in the league, and the offense has been historically bad. Like, they're just tired of it. Not that. Surprising ownership. Like, Wade Johnson, I know some people say, he's not the worst, owner ever. And maybe he's not, but he's pretty bad. He's the one constant through all this futility. He's terrible. I don't care what I say. He's terrible. Number 22 is the Indianapolis Colts. They were ranked 23rd in treatment of families, 22nd in food, 18th in nutrition, 11th in locker room, 16th in training room, 23rd in training staff, 26th in weight room, 29th in strength coaches, 26th in team travel, 18th in head coach, and 26th in ownership. They're pretty low. Like, Jim Irsay is not a very good owner. He obviously gets in trouble with the law. He's clearly he's gotten in trouble with the alcohol a few times, of drinking and driving. So, he's just very arrogant. He's on social media a lot when he probably shouldn't be. Yeah, I cannot imagine that goes over well at all. Like, at all. So, they come in at 22nd in this poll. Number 23 was the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland coming in at 23rd. They were 26th in treatment of families, 18th in food, 23rd in nutrition, 23rd in locker room, 20th in training room, 24th in training staff, 30th in weight room, 19th in strength coaches, 23rd in team travel, 28th in head coach, and 17th in ownership. Kim Stefanski was ranked really low on this list. He was ranked the 5th worst head coach by his peers. I'm not totally sure why. I thought he did a very good job this year. All the injuries that his team had 4 different quarterbacks, had to bring Joe Flacco off the street, and still was able to make the playoffs. Maybe it's something else behind the scenes. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I will say at times his play calling was a game here or there. His play calling I thought was a little bit off. His decision making at times wasn't great. Maybe it's that. But yeah. But that's the only thing I could think of. And, the training staff wasn't great. I mean, they had a lot of injuries this year. Maybe the players didn't love how they were handled. That's probably where that came from. At number 24, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs, the next team on this list. They were ranked 28th for treatment of families, 24th in food, 17th in nutrition, 22nd in locker room, 15th in training room, 14th in training staff, 17th in weight room, 11th in strength coaches, 32nd in team travel, 26th in head coach, and 29th in ownership. So they were dead last in team travel. Todd Bowles were ranked the 7th worst head coach. Like, he's not a very good head coach. Another reason, just to keep his job, because of how bad their division, they're able to just squeak through with 8 or 9 wins and win that division. Obviously, there were a lot of playoff games here because they played the hapless Eagles in the first round. And I had to just completely collapse and just was done. Basically gave up, he doesn't. He seems, like a guy who he loses the locker room every year. He did it in New York. He's doing the same thing here in Tampa. That's what he does. He's not a head coach. Great defensive coordinator, not a good head coach. The ownership has never really been good there. I'm not surprised. I think they just think, look, you've assembled this really, really mid team. Right, you went all in, bringing in Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. Well, obviously, maybe Tom Brady got a Super Bowl. And since then, it feels like since Brady retired, they've done nothing. Obviously, his last year there, they were just 8-9, but they were able to win their division. And this year, only went 9-8, but still were able to win the division and stole a playoff game. And besides that, they've obviously done nothing. But yeah, Bucks come in at 24th in this ranking. At 25th is the Atlanta Falcons. They come in at the 25th spot. They were ranked 13th in treatment of families, 20th in food, 4th in nutrition, 29th in locker room, 14th in training room, 5th in training staff, 31st in weight room, 32nd in strength coaches, 16th in team travel, 30th in head coach, and 9th in ownership. Arthur Smith was ranked the third worst coach in the league. Not a surprise. I just think that the guy just got tired of the way he ran his offense. They were just tired of it. Obviously, you saw him after the last game. That sounds, that's F and BS. The way run the last play. I'm not sure how that went over. Some guys might have a great effect, some guys might not have. Obviously, I'm sure it caused problems in the locker room. They're probably just like, dude, we're in the worst division ever. We have a pretty good squad, but because of our dumb A head coach and our awful quarterback, Desmond Ritter and Taylor Heineke, and we're being held back. That probably give had a rift. I'm sure like the skill guys like Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts, are upset with Arthur Smith and doesn't wear the defense is probably upset with them as well. That's probably what caused the rift there. At 26 is the Arizona Cardinals. They were ranked 19th in treating the families, 28th in food, 28th in nutrition, 31st in locker room, 25th in training room, 20th in training staff, 26th in weight room, 26th in strength coaches, 14th in team trial, 15th in head coach, and 30th in ownership. The ownership was ranked the third worst in the league. Not surprised. Michael Bidwell, the whole year has been under investigation for a lot of different, very bad things. He's not done a good job, when it comes to a football perspective anyway. Clearly, he's not a very good human being. Can't imagine any player or any person or organization has any respect for him. Not much of a surprise there. And locker room was the second worst. I mean, they had a rough year. I mean, going into the year, they also had a bad roster and close to job again for keeping them competitive for the most part, but they were very bad. It was a tough year. They had a couple of wins over a couple of very good teams. They beat Dallas early in the year. Towards the end of the year, they had a win over a good team as well. Can't remember who it was though. And but they also lost to some very bad teams. By so some weren't even that close. So I'm sure the guys were like, I think maybe the players were like we can, be a good football team. They beat a couple of good teams, but like they just don't do it consistently. So that was frustrating. And also the owner being in trouble didn't help. And number 26 is the Cincinnati Bengals. They were ranked 32nd in treatment of families, 32nd in food, 32nd in nutrition, 24th in locker room, 10th in training room, 6th in training staff, 10th in weight room, 9th in strength coaches, 20th in team travel, 10th in head coach, and 25th in ownership. Obviously, being dead last in 3 categories, definitely hurt them. Treatment of families, food, and nutrition. That's something, we can't, there's nothing else, unless some big, huge, really bad comes out and it's a big national story. No one besides the people that are in that building all the time know what's going on. The locker room was ranked in the bottom 10. I mean, they had a lot of expectations here. The Bengals, obviously, this is a team that was in the AFC Championship two years in a row. They were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and also this year missed the playoffs. Losing Joe Burrow obviously, killed that and missing the playoffs. That was just a tough break. The ownership got the 5th worst mark of when it comes to ownership. I mean, the ownership there has really never been great. They've only, just started to do some good things. So, maybe they're thinking, all right, here we go, kind of thing. I think I can think of. Number 20. So me, I actually swapped those two. The Bengals were 26, Cardinals were 27. So I swapped those two. My apologies. But number 28 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got into the bottom 5 teams in this poll. They were ranked 28th. They were 29th in treatment of family, 16th in food, 30th in nutrition, 30th in locker room, 29th in training room, 28th in training staff, 24th in weight room, 20th in strength coaches, 28th in team travel, 5th in head coach, and 31st in ownership. So a couple of glaring categories they were very low in. Training room and training staff, they were very low. They were bottom 5 in each category. They had a couple injuries. TJ Watt, I think he got hurt at the end of the year. Kenny Pickett missed some time. Tomlin got a top 5 mark. Not much of a surprise there. I just think, say what you want about him. His teams always compete. I think he's he's a leader of men. He produces excellence, and I think guys really appreciate that. Ownership got really low. The Rooney family has obviously owned the Steelers for as long as pretty much anybody can remember. They're considered NFL royalty. Art Rooney, senior, he passed away a bunch of years ago, but I think it's his son running it now. Hasn't had admirable success since his father. I think they're just tired of the Steelers just putting together mediocre teams, and Tomlin able to scrap them together and get them in the playoff picture and to the playoff. But that's as far. I think they're like, dude, can you spend a little money and put a true Steelers team on the field for once. At 29 is the New England Patriots. They were ranked 30th in treatment of families, 15th in food, 20th in nutrition, 20th in locker room, 22nd in training room, 25th in training staff, 32nd in weight room, 31st in strength coaches, 24th in team travel, 27th in head coach, and 27th in ownership. So 2 things really were glaring here. Bill Belichick getting a pretty low rating. I think guys were tired of him. Obviously, that new Patriots documentary coming out. I haven't seen yet, but I've heard things, videos, and I have friends who are Patriots fans that have told me stuff about it. Well, I've heard he was a bit of a hard ass, which surprise there. Pretty much anyone could have guessed that. I think for a while, because he always won. He's a 6-time Super Bowl champion. When he was winning, guys could deal with it. Like, all right, he's going to be a pain in my backside. But, if we're going to win Super Bowls, I can live with that. But, now we're not making the playoffs. And this year, we're winning 4 football games. There's like, dude, enough. Like, I'm sure there were certain guys thinking, are you sure this guy's a great coach? It wasn't just Tom Brady. Some guys might be thinking that. Kraft got a very low rating. To me, he's a fantastic owner. I think he's a great owner. I don't think he's the greatest guy in the world. Obviously, he had that thing a bunch of years ago where he was hanging out in the club with certain people with some shady characters. I just think they were just like, dude, like this is the hand you gave us. You let Bill be GM all these years. It was not the right move. I think they're just like, look, something needs to change. At 30th in this poll was the Los Angeles Chargers. They were 27th in treatment of families, 31st in food, 16th in nutrition, 27th in locker room, 30th in training room, 26th in training staff, 29th in weight room, 20th in strength coaches, 29th in team travel, 23rd in head coach, and 24th in ownership. No surprise here. Their training staff clearly is not very good. They bail injuries every single year. Staley obviously got a low rank. Look, from what I hear, the players really liked him, and that's why he kept his job the previous season. But I think after that Raiders game when they lost like 63-7 or something, and we were like, fired at halftime. Of course, he gets fired like the day after the game. I think after the game he was just very like laid back about it. He was like, oh yeah, we kind of like we just didn't really care. That's when the players realized, yeah, this guy's got to go. I think they liked him as a person, just as a coach. They're like, dude, you're just not good enough. You're not good at all. And so, while they also got pretty low ranks. And their ownership not very high. Not surprised there. The Spanos family is a terrible, terrible ownership group. 31st is the Kansas City Chiefs. So this one was surprising. Chiefs were rated the second worst in this poll. They come in at 31. They were 18th for treatment of families, 26th in food, 31st in nutrition, 28th in locker room, 31st in training room, 32nd in training staff, 23rd in weight room, 27th in strength coaches, 27th team travel, first in head coach, and 32nd ownership. So they're the best coach in the league of Andy Reid. I mean, he's obviously great at what he does, and he seems like a lot of fun to be around. You know, their training staff was ranked dead last, which is a little alarming. Certainly they're learning a lot of things here. They're ranked last in ownership. So I think it's what's his name, Lamar Hunt's the owner over there. I can't put my finger on why. I mean, he's put a great team on the field. Well, the guys he hired has at least. I mean, he's hired well. Maybe there's something behind the scenes we don't know. I mean, I saw he basically has like a full house inside our house stadium where he watches the games. I don't know if I don't know why that'd be a problem for anybody. I don't know, maybe it is. I don't really know. Locker room was ranked really low. It's ranked, it was in the bottom 5. I mean, they had I mean, the right reason they weren't as good as they were in past years. Maybe there was some frustration. Like why isn't the offense putting up as many points? Why is Patrick Mahomes, throwing some, uncharacteristic interceptions? Why are we losing games, to the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos? Like, why is this happening? Maybe there was frustration, and the guys were like, we're getting worried as to, we're supposed to be the Chiefs supposed to be a dynasty. There was a point where like, even though they're gonna get out of the first or second round, so maybe that's what put them lower. But yeah, that was a bit of a surprise to me. And last and certainly least in this case, it's the Washington Commanders. They were ranked dead last, 32nd, 31st in treatment of families, 27th in food, 21st in nutrition, 32nd in locker room, 32nd in training room, 31st in training staff, 25th in weight room, 5th in strength coaches, 31st in team travel, 31st in head coach, and 18th in ownership. Obviously the new ownership group with Josh Harris and Matt Johnson got okay marks. I think they're like, well, you're not Dan Snyder, but also like, what exactly are we doing? They had the worst locker room. It was a team. I mean, going into the year, I think they had higher expectations, and obviously what happened. Trading away, 2 key players, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. They get a second and a third round pick combined for the both of them. Didn't go over well. It was a really frustrating year for them. Ron Rivera got a really low mark. I just think they were just. It was clear by probably week 6 or 7 that this guy is not head coach in the NFL, and he just continues to keep his job. I'm sure that was frustrating. And training staff was like basically dead last. Just they're just not like an organization. Put it to you that way. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long and have a great day.